Hello. Right now, I want to talk about gaps and holes in Peter Schiff's economic analysis. Peter always comes back to the same point, which is that we don't have a free market and that government regulations, taxes, subsidies, interference are always causing problems and extreme price um, inaccuracies and inefficiencies, and for all the services that government gets involved in to always go up dramatically in price, like college education and medical care and all that. But and also Peter points out that eventually the bond market is going to suffer a collapse, and that the economy really is fundamentally weak, and the same points over and over again, and it is all true, but there are many things that Peter is leaving out and never mentioning. And I can just mention a few. They're so obvious, but Peter never um, pays attention to these fundamental realities, and neither do most other libertarian economics commentators, which is starting with the fact that the establishment basically controls the entire economy, and they're doing just fine, and they have no reason to change anything, and they don't intend to change much of anything at all, and basically end of story. So, like, yeah, I mean, um, no matter what Peter Schiff says about free markets and about the fact that if we had a free market, things would be much better, even for the very rich, they don't care. And like, especially because it's not only about money and economics, it's also about power and control. And it's probably mainly about power and control. The very, very rich elite do not, I mean, they care about the status quo and their control over society much more than even they care about money. Because, like, money, they only need a certain amount of money. There's only so much Gucci accessories that you can buy. There's only so many apartments and condominiums that you can buy without becoming duplicative. There's only so many private jets that you can buy before you don't need any more private jets. So, like, for the elite and the establishment, they don't even, it's not about the money and the economics. It's mostly about the social control, control of the economy, control over development and infrastructure and institutions. They don't care about the money so much. They care about the power and the control. And also, they care about being able to control their enemies and keep themselves in power. And like, the money is really secondary. It's an afterthought because they already have all the money they need, and they also control the monetary system, so they can always get more money when they go bankrupt and their schemes splatter. They can always just get more free money. So it's not even about the money. And also, Peter Schiff never, and also other libertarians, it's not just Peter Schiff, other libertarian commentators, they never mention the other obvious facts, which is that the Western world, and especially the United States, has such overwhelming military power and police power that they essentially, even if and when the economy collapses or the bond bubble collapses, they control the entire economy anyway. So they're going to still maintain control until some sort of evolution or revolution. They're going to maintain complete control. So if the bond bubble collapses and the monetary system freezes, they're still going to control the entire society. They're still going to control, the corporations own most of the agriculture. They own all of the oil and energy infrastructure and gas stations and all that. The supermarkets are mostly corporations. They own and control all of the banks and the fundamental banking system and worldwide monetary system. So they control all the credit, the loans, the money supply. They control the stock markets. They can manipulate the stock markets, the markets and the brokers and all the websites and everything all have hacks built into them, and they're all rigged. They can be rigged. Um, they control all the whole medical system. They want to control the medical system and the doctors because then they can silence people and control people in other ways besides just the prison system. And of course, they also control and own the prison system and the justice system. They own all the lawyers. The lawyers depend on these people for their you know their income and their lifestyle. And they control the educational system, of course, and they control the postal systems and the shipping companies. And I mean, they control everything. They control the laws of the sea. They control the United Nations. They control the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund. Most of the third world nations are already totally in debt to them, so they control the third world nations too, and the second world nations. And they're surrounding all the outlier rebel nations like North Korea, Iran. They finally invaded and attacked Libya and took it over and caused a civil war. So, they want to do the same thing to North Korea and Iran, unless they want to keep North Korea and Iran as just symbolic token rebel countries, which they can use for political and propaganda purposes to inflame their own populations. So Peter Schiff never mentions this fundamental fact, which is that internally the America is controlled by all the police forces, the American police forces, the local, state, and federal FBI and local police departments and police things, which can quash any resistance or um, arguments at the drop of a hat, whatever the politicians instruct the police chiefs to do. Or then they just bring in the FBI if the local police don't cooperate, or the National Guard if they have to. And then the America and all the Western powers have their own militaries, which can just clamp down and either invade any nation which resists, or just control the sea lanes and control all the international shipping lanes and shipping. So the establishment and the elites who pay them off and the governments who work with them, all of these people control everything. Of course, they control the media too, and all the journalists. Most of the journalists are just paid liars. I mean, that's 99.9% of establishment journalists are just paid liars, and a lot of them work for the CIA and other intelligence. But it's really not that important. The important thing is that the people in power control everything, and they can just pull their strings whenever they want. So Peter Schiff never mentions this essential, obvious, vital fact, which is that no matter what he says about the free market or the government getting out of the free market, they control everything. They're not going to get out of the market. That is their market. The whole market is theirs. They control it, and they do whatever they want with it. So irrespective, Peter Schiff is not necessarily right even about the bond bubble. They could basically they could just keep the bond bubble inflating forever, because no one cares about a bear in the woods, and no one cares about some trees falling in the woods, because that's outside of the economy. The market is just the civilized world engaging in commerce, trade, and purchasing and selling of all sorts, and all sorts of institutional regulation, taxation, subsidies, and control. And it doesn't care about bears in the woods, tigers on mountaintops, or anything happening outside of the market. The only market is this market, and it's totally owned and controlled by the powers that, the rich people, the corporations, the banks, and the governments, and all their useful idiots, and all the institutions and the media, and the lawyers and all those people. So like, and like, even if they choose to let the bond bubble collapse, and like the monetary, and even if they change the monetary system, it's still going to be the same people in control, controlling all everything. Like when Vladimir Putin rose up after the Russian or Soviet collapse, it's still all the same KGB guys who were running everything, starting with Vladimir Putin. And it's the same people controlling the whole thing, and the same bureaucracies and bureaucrats controlling the bureaucracies. And and Vladimir Putin and Boris Yeltsin and all those guys just chose the business guys they liked, and um, they let them become the tycoons. So those are the tycoons in Russia. Their hand, and the ones that they don't like, they just put in jail, like the tycoon they didn't like, who they prosecuted and they put him in jail. So like Peter Schiff and the other libertarian economists and commentators and political economists, they ignore the reality that the whole system is controlled by this group of controllers, the rich and the governments and the corporations and the banks. And so, and like, that's not going to change unless there's some kind of fundamental collapse of the entire system, which is not really possible realistically. Because, like, I don't know how the entire system could collapse, because there's so many fail safes and like safeties in the system that and like, no one wants the whole system to collapse, because everyone relies on the system to a great degree, including Peter Schiff, who like pays his taxes. So like, he's just as culpable and guilty as the rest of us. Because like, no one except like Central American and some rebels in Europe and Africa, and some in Asia, no one is rising up to fight. No one wants to fight. No one wants a revolution. No one wants fighting in the streets, and to like upend everything. So like, there's revolution is not going to happen, and collapse is not going to happen, because even if the monetary system is the only thing that can collapse, and like, even if it collapses, they control everything. The police force just takes over. They control the supermarkets, they control the gas stations, they control everything. So they just take it over, and they still control everything. The food is delivered, everything. So nothing collapses except the monetary system, and they just reset the monetary system, and that's that. So like, Peter Schiff and other libertarian political economists are ignoring all these essential truths about like how the society and the world is set up. So they're ignoring the whole truth about the entire things they're talking about. Like, Peter Schiff is talking about how the economy doesn't work. No, it works just fine for the people who control everything. They're totally happy and having a ball with the economy. And that there are millions and billions of losers in the economy, but the people who control the economy don't care about the losers. So, you know, we have to figure out a way to to let everyone win in the economy. From the homeless people to the working class to the poor to the middle class. The middle class always gets shafted a lot. And also, I think there are a lot of unhappy rich people too, and a lot of unhappy professional people, and a lot of unhappy bureaucrats, and a lot of unhappy government workers, and a lot of unhappy postal workers. So like, the problems and the supposed solutions that Peter Schiff and other libertarians are offering up are not really solutions. They're not really the fundamental problems, and they're not really what's going to happen and what's going to change. Like, we really need to figure out how to make everyone a winner, and how to get everyone what they want and need, so everyone can do their work, everyone can enjoy their life, and everyone can be the best they can be and the most complete people they can be. That's what we have to figure out, how to make everyone able to be a winner. So I want to point out these fundamental truths and facts and realities. And like all the libertarian commentators, including Peter Schiff, ignore these realities and they're kind of brainwashing their listeners and brainwashing people. And it's like these libertarians are like they're like to a great extent they're bullshit artists. They're not telling the truth and they're not being truthful about reality, or they're not aware of reality. Because I've just described a lot of reality and it even goes deeper than that, but I'm not going to get into, and I don't even know all of the deeper shit that goes on. But the libertarian political economists are not telling you the truth. They're not pointing out the obvious realities going on. So I've just pointed it out, and I hope I get comments on these issues because these are the important realities that we have to concentrate on, and we have to concentrate on how to make everyone have a chance to be a winner and to have to have second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth chances to be a winner, and just like everyone gets to be a winner all the time. That's the kind of society I want. So we have to confront these realities and confront the real challenge, which is letting everyone be a winner in society. And then even the rich and the elites are even more of winners. So I don't see how they would want to complain or could complain, unless they're just totally evil and they just want to spite everyone just to spite them. But I can't believe that kind of evil is just not even a reality because it just destroys itself. So I can't imagine that they really want that. And I don't think they're really like that. I just think they're maybe incredibly cynical. So anyway, please comment and encourage all the libertarian leaders like Peter Schiff and the other libertarian supposed political economists to comment on this video and my comments, because this is the issue that we really have to face and the challenge we really have to face. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.